I'm back, baby!
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the ever-evolving and never-ending Ready Said podcast. If society's a joke, then we're just here for the first set. Because it's Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. And you're probably asking yourself, well, why is that? I mean, the media was all about war. They were all about Donald Trump. What has happened? Well, let me tell you. It's pretty simple, actually. For the longest time, the media has just been covering for the guy. You know, it's as simple as these aren't the droids they're looking for. You know, this guy doesn't look old. He's spry. What are you talking about? Cheap fakes. Does anyone remember that one? There's cheap fakes of Joe Biden. Actually, we could probably run the clip of this of him. We'll just run it while I'm talking here. There is a clip of him at a G7 summit going to Europe. And I think they had people parachute down on the ground. And Joe Biden wanders over there and starts, I don't know, maybe giving the guy a thumbs up. If he was trying to talk to him, it doesn't seem like the guy was even aware. It just looked like an old man wandering off. And then the Italian prime minister had to come over there and be like, over here, sir. You know, I mean, how awkward must that be? I mean, have you ever been in a situation where, like, the person who's clearly the leader of the group, maybe at work, but there's something where you're just kind of like, you know, maybe they say a racist joke. Maybe they, you get what I'm saying. But are times where you have people who are in positions of power and they're old. And I cannot imagine having a boss like this where you're like, dude, what? What did you say? There's multiple reports of this. I think a Wall Street Journal report came out about how Joe Biden will literally doze off in the middle of a meeting. Sometimes people can't even hear what he's saying, or he's speaking from prepared talking points of obvious points. You know, like for instance, if you work in a restaurant, have you ever had a manager tell you how to clear your table? Or, you know, that being loud, you know, clanking glasses together, shit like that is not good for restaurant ambiance. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you know, but sometimes things just happen. And I couldn't imagine being in a meeting with this guy at the White House. I mean, think about it. You're at the White House. This is the top echelon of power. It doesn't get any higher than this, as far as we know in our solar system. When you're in the White House and you're in meetings with, you know, the president, his advisors, like you're at the top of the game at that point. And if you have the president of the United States reading talking points to you that are kind of already known amongst everyone, it doesn't really inspire great leadership, does it? And I mean, we have been watching the fall of Joe Biden since he's been in office. What did we talk about, you know, how a few years ago, his NATO expansion, for instance, which ended up kind of being the cause of this Ukraine war. He pulled all those people out of Afghanistan in probably one of the worst ways possible. And I do remember doing a podcast on that. That was what I remember we talking about the death cross, where his approval rating basically sunk past. I'm kind of drawing a blank on what there's two graphs. I don't remember what the line graphs. I don't remember exactly what they were, but there was a death cross, and he has not recovered since. And I don't know how he plans to. It doesn't, at this point, the campaign seems to just be flailing their arms. I mean, they had a press conference yesterday where they were just like banshees yelling at, I mean, rightfully so, at Karine Jean-Pierre, because I guess the media feels they kind of got a little used by the government. Again, nothing that I didn't know, nothing you probably didn't know either. We all saw it. But between the empire, the media, you know, the media is basically Obi-Wan Kenobi at this point. These aren't the droids they're looking for. He isn't as old as he seems. These are cheap fakes. I mean, after that debate, how could the media keep going forward and saying, like, this isn't what it seems? These aren't the droids they're looking for. Like, it's obvious what we're dealing with here. A senile old man who's clearly deteriorating from some kind of Parkinson's or stroke. It must be Parkinson's, because that's kind of what the media is kind of alluding to now. There was a Parkinson's specialist that visited the White House recently. What is that all about? I mean, Parkinson's makes a lot more sense than a stroke, if you ask me. You know, I for the longest time, like you look at these poll numbers and you wonder, who's okay with Joe Biden being the president? Like, where is he getting these approval numbers from? And I think the answer to that one is probably a lot more simpler than everyone wants to really believe. And that is, we live in an aging society. We have an aging population. You know, I've been in Florida for the last 10 years. So I just assumed everywhere I went where I saw old people, it was because I lived in Florida. You know, I mean, I was out in Orlando, Kissimmee area. I mean, wherever you go out there, like, sure, it's Disney World-ish. Well, it is Disney World. I shouldn't say ish, but it's Disney World. So, like, there's going to be younger families and stuff like that. So that does skew the numbers. But there's still old people out there. Like, if you look at a map, Kissimmee, there's another town called St. Cloud right next to it. Nothing but old people. Nothing but old people. So again, me living in Florida all those years, I assumed this is just how Florida is. Because everyone knows Florida has one of the most older population demographics of all the states. So I have recently moved back to this state called Illinois. I'll just be diplomatic here. What I did notice when I moved back up here was that there's a lot of old people here too, which kind of caught me off guard because I haven't lived up here in 10 years or so, maybe even a little bit longer than that. And even 10 years ago, I wasn't really paying attention to those kinds of things 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was just hoping the Bears would win a Super Bowl, which never happened and probably isn't going to happen. But that's a whole other conversation. Actually, maybe it will, but they're not winning one this year. So all you guys got to calm down on that shit. But 10 years ago, I wasn't really looking around thinking like, oh, wow, look, there's all these old people here. I mean, maybe they were. I did not notice it, but it did not feel as geriatric as it does now. You know, what I can actually do is, let's roll that B-roll I have that I took at the local Jewel and just kind of roll that while I'm speaking here. I'll talk over it, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone at this Jewel is old. There are no young people. I mean, maybe we can find some more B-roll of me somewhere else, and you'll see it's nothing but old people. You know, where I work in the Chicagoland area, same thing, nothing but old people. And that really got me wondering, like, why is that? You know, I mean, one explanation is because housing is through the roof over on the North Shore suburbs of Chicago, and a lot of people that bought those homes, they bought them when they were affordable, and they've basically stayed in them, not selling them. And why would you sell in this economy, obviously? But, like, you know, they didn't sell it when the economy was better or more conducive to a seller. They've held on to it. And why is that? I would say that would be the Tim Dillon thing.
And they pick up the phone, and the real estate agent goes, maybe we could do this. We can get you this. And they go, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You will never get this house for under 1.9. They refuse to leave because it's their biggest coup d'etat. Come here, listen to this. I bought this for $200,000. You know what they tell me I could get now? 1.8. Isn't that something? But guess what? I ain't leaving for under 2.
Why would you? I mean, maybe, just hear me out here. Maybe you would sell because you don't need all that space, because there's a lot of people behind you that need homes. Not all of us grew up in a time where there was one of the biggest single-family home housing booms. They don't build homes like they used to.
It's kind of a common thing to the whole boomer thing is just hold on to it. Hold on for dear life. You know, they will not. Yeah. According to a recent Merrill Lynch retirement study of more than 3,600 respondents, 49% of retirees didn't downsize in their last move, and 30% actually ended up moving into larger homes. This is how sick some of these people are. They go, I'm 100 and I want more. I want a bigger home.
There's so much red tape in building a home. It's just not worth it to build them the way they used to. And that's kind of what's changed.
You're the reason. You are the reason. We have the oldest Congress in American history. These people will not retire. Boomers hold on for dear life to everything. to everything. They are falling down in the halls of Congress. They will not leave. They will not quit. This is why the world looks the way it does. It's being run exclusively by like elderly boomers who will not leave. They are afraid of not running the show.
But there's still people saying, that guy's doing a great job. Why is that? Because they're all fucking old. So you really have to ask yourself, why did Joe Biden get elected? Did he get elected because, you know, he was the right man for the job? Did he get elected because all these people hated Trump so much? Like, what was the actual reason? Maybe, just maybe, one of the reasons this guy got elected is because we live in an aging society where there's a lot of people in their 80s and their 70s who see an old guy kind of getting it done, and they view themselves as the old guy getting it done. And with that combined together, we get this this president. And then it's the same thing on the other side. The Republicans aren't any different. But like I would say, you know, because right now the narrative is, oh, well, we're getting Trump and Biden because, you know, this is just the world we live in. This is the choices that the two parties are giving us. This is a sign of how old our society is getting, where there is plenty of people who are in their 70s and 80s enough to say that, yeah, I want that guy as president. You know, again, there are generations, the millennials, there's Gen Xers, you have the Zoomers. You know, they all keep saying, oh, well, we want someone younger. We want someone else to be there. Yeah, maybe you do. But guess what? We live in an aging society. Boomers have been running the show since Clinton got in office back in 92. So we're going on 32 plus years of being run by boomers. Wherever you live, look around. Look at who's around you. I don't know, every neighborhood and demographic is different, but I guarantee you, wherever you are, wherever you live, there's probably a bunch of old people shopping somewhere thinking that Joe Biden is doing a great job.